Time to see what's trending.
And, of course, trending on breakfast television is different than what you see across the country. It's what you have decided on. And the number one thing people are talking about this morning is BT Sleep Week.
Yeah, and when you think about it, the amount of time you spend in your bed is you know, it's like half your life. So, of course, a lot of people have questions about it overwhelmingly. Lots of questions on both our Facebook live stream as well as your Periscope. And Dr. Colleen Carney just left. So you can go onto her Facebook page still and rewatch that all as she did answer some of your questions.
So while we were on the air, you had more than 100,000 hits or views.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
On Facebook. 103,000 just now on Facebook. My voice keeps cracking. I apologize.
You went through puberty during Pride.
And almost 1,000 people watching live on your Periscope as well. So, of course, there's a hunger for this information. So, among some of the tips people have been sharing as well, so not just questions, people have been sending in their advice. And Stephen was saying, four suggestions for sleep. Number one, no TV in the bedroom. I got rid of my TV a long time ago in my bedroom. 2, go to bed at the same time, so routine. 3, make your bedroom 8 to 10 degrees cooler. And that was one thing that Dr. Carney was talking about, the bedroom temperature. As long as you make it what is comfortable for you, that is what's important. A lot of people think there's some magic number in terms of temperature.
And just not just TVs, any screen time. Do not look at your phone for at least an hour before you go to bed. It's hard to do, but that's what they say. Yeah. It stimulates you.
Yeah, and then, of course, making the bedroom totally dark, which is hard for people who work shift work. And that was a lot of, we got a lot of questions from people who wake up at, you know, midnight, 3 o'clock to go to work because they sleep during the day, and getting that light out is quite difficult.
Easiest way to do it, black cloth. Buy some and put 2 little tacks on the wall. Boom, put it up. Takes the light out.
Yeah.
Or so just a big Canadian flag
big
right
Canadian
across your room.
Yeah, so this is what we've done for you. bttoronto.ca/sleepweek. We've got factoids, we've got frequently asked questions, and we're going to be putting all of our segments from throughout the week on there, so you can rewatch them and use that as a resource for you trying to find better sleep.
Black Lives Matter Toronto protest. I was reading actually in the Washington Post this morning as well that they were headlining the story as well. It gave a bit of a sort of a bad taste to the Pride events yesterday, in which we saw our own Prime Minister walking so freely with very little security, which was a day of celebration. But I'll tell you, it has been overwhelmingly against the actions of the protesters and against the actions of the Pride organizers for agreeing to their demands.
And there's no doubt that the message behind everything is there, and it's very fair and just. But the way that it was done got a lot of scrutiny on social media. Lisa Ann Murphy saying, wrong to ban police floats, just wrong. They had a list of demands that they wanted to meet, one including not having police in the parade in future years next year. And that's kind of hitting people the wrong way.
Especially in lieu of the bathhouse raids apology we saw Chief Saunders just a week ago, and now here they are making a concerted effort saying we are here to support, do not fear us, and now they're getting, of course, dumped on for that. They can't win. You know?
And let's move on to Discover Your Backyard. And for those of you who are looking for something to do, it's like, oh, I don't want to do, you know, what is there to do? In Ontario, there are so many one-trip getaways, or one-day getaways you can do, and people have been sharing them with us.
Yeah, people have been sharing them with you. You tweeted out sharing your Ontario day trip, and I'm just going to read some of them off now. John saying, my favorite is the Canadian War Plane Heritage Museum
in Hamilton.
In Hamilton, one of my 2 favorite places to see a Lancaster bomber fly. I don't know what that is, but
the Lancaster bomber was a World War II bomber that there are not very many left of. Very few actually still functioning in the world. It's a spectacular aircraft, and Hamilton is one of the few places left to have it. It actually is a functioning aircraft.
Right, and it's what, like an hour drive?
Yeah, an hour drive, and just a 2-hour drive is the St. Jacobs Market, which our friend T. Queen Carolyn sent, and so picturesque as well as the great markets. And there's the new one that just went up, right?
Yeah,
the new building.
the one that had burnt down. They had replaced. I'm going to tell you something. You may not even know about this. It's going to take you about almost 2 hours to get there. The Big Chute Marine Railway. Which is up sort of north of Coldwater, sort of parallel Aurelia, but you take the 400 extension. It is one of the it's the only functioning marine railway in North America. It is spectacular to watch. You bring a picnic, you go there for the day, and then you come back, say, slip over to Midland or Penetang.
Stay there.
In those areas, and there's so many little shops and restaurants. And basically, you can go for the day, and you can be home by supper time.
What's the railway museum that's up north as well?
That's in Rockwood. Help me out, Kevin. the Railway Museum in Rockwood out
And
near
you can still
Guelph.
ride those heritage
Yeah,
trains.
you can ride the heritage trains. There's old Toronto streetcars there as well.
And there's a lot of the old train rides that they do in that area, but then also near Tottenham. The Tottenham has the train
steam
rides that
train.
they do, and then I talked about the one up in Algoma at the fall one. So there's lots of these old train rides that you can do with your family, and again, it just has to be one day.
Now, Kevin, in your time now with the Ontario Tourism,
Yep.
you've had a chance to see a lot more than you ever did prior to working there. Has there been anything that surprised you that would surprise people from Toronto?
There's this one really cool place called the Warsaw Conservation Area just outside of Peterborough, and actually it was some of the pictures that we didn't get to this morning, and it's a really neat place because it was back in the day when the glaciers went through and water pushed through all these limestone rocks. So now there's 7 caves there in Warsaw. You just go in, the kids will love it, put on a little helmet cam, bring your own flashlights, and you can climb through these little crevices in these caves, and it's beautiful because you walk through the forest and the entire forest is covered in peat moss and all that stuff. So it's really kind of a one-day getaway just outside of Peterborough. You don't have to go far. And then, again, the kids will love it.
And then when you're in Peterborough, they got the lift locks there. It's a great. And then now a lot of people will poo-poo it, but the Canoe Museum in Peterborough, believe it or not, is actually
gorgeous,
spectacular.
It's really cool, and they'll even take you out on a canoe ride if you book one. And a lot of people in Toronto have probably never been on a canoe before. They'll take you out on one of the rivers out there.
Lift locks on the canoe?
You can do that one. You can do the lift locks in the canoe. You can go up to one of the other rivers there.
Kevin Frigette practiced what he preaches. He's got a 1-week vacation coming up, and guess what he's doing? Hitting the road on an RV.
Going RVing, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Woo! Hollywood Road.
My sympathies to Sarah. All right, thank you, Kevin. Ontario Kevin. Let him know your one-day getaways, or he can let you know of some really good stuff. Just tell him where you're tweeting from.
He's the go-to. You can't miss him.